Gentlemen, I've got the Turnigy Gt5, which is also the same as the Flysky Gt5. They're both 6-channel, 2.4 gigahertz. Hope you can see that. We're going to open this thing up, see what we got here. Take a look at this. Alright, car, boat, FHSS, 6-channel, high voltage receiver. That's nice. Let's see. Looks pretty standard. Let's get this thing opened up and see what it's got. Oh, wait. Let's take a look at this. Alright, multiple adaptation. Alright, that's a good deal. Alright, let's get this thing opened up. GT5 manual. Nice packaging. And there it is. Alright. There is the receiver. Alright, let's get this box out of the way and do some more recording. So there it is. One of the things on the box was talking about the back end here, and there's your JST to fit a 2S battery into this to power it. That way you no longer have to mess with the AA's. Not really sure what milliamp 2S would fit, but probably something like a flight pack, maybe 500 milliamp, maybe 600. I don't really know how much room is in here without that little tray there. But anyway, let's take a look at the receiver. There it is in all of its glory. It's actually pretty small, which means it should fit in a lot of places. So it's got a built-in gyro, so we'll have to see how that works with the steering. I've messed with some gyros in the past and never been too happy with the performance of them. Hopefully this right here will do a little bit better. Let's open up that book. Alright, starting here you can see pretty much standard issue stuff. What buttons do what not to do. Obviously don't pick it up by the antennas. You know, different 6 channels, fully operational, fully adjustable. Looks pretty standard. Got a nice layout right there. I'm going to get into some of these. As far as the model goes, see how many characters we can get. It's showing 4 right here. So shouldn't be too bad. Endpoint adjustment, sub trim, dual rate, exponential, ABS. I never use ABS on anything. And I don't know why anybody would, but maybe you guys can explain to me why that's even a feature. Because most all radios have them. There's your trim, there's your fail-safe. The fail-safe, you should be able to set that up to where if you do lose signal, the car will go into a preset mode. Usually like stop, which will be nice. And you have the crawl mode right there, which appears to be, you can select which way you want it to go, and that's the way it's going to be. I'm not sure if it's selectable or not with a button, but normal front steer, rear steer, crab steer, and then all 4-wheel steer. So we'll see how that works out. And oh yeah, here we go. Steering gain. You can use the nav key to adjust the steering, how sensitive it is. If you're getting a spin out, how much it corrects and all that. Throttle gain. What this right here is supposed to do is this is supposed to actually cut the throttle out when you're in a corner, a certain percentage. We'll see how that works. And the priority. This is a real neat feature. If this works like what I'm thinking, this will actually give you priority over the gyro, which should make the gyro actually really useful. And then there's your product specifications, and then what comes in the box. Okay, got some batteries in here. Turns on nice, looks good. Let's see what we got. Model, looks like 20 models. Name. Showing 3 digits on the name. Reversing. All 6 channels for reversing. EPA. All 6 channels on the EPA. Sub trim. All 6 channels on sub trim. That's nice. Dual rate. Alright, the dual rate is for channels 1 and channel 2. Exponential. That is also channel 1 and channel 2. ABS, I just don't even want to mess with that. Trim. Looks like your normal trim, not your sub trim, is good for the first 4 channels. Alright, looks like failsafe. You can actually preset all 6 channels on failsafe to do something when you lose signal. That can be really nice and can really help you out in case something happens. Crawl. There's your A, there's your B, C, D. To go back over this again, front steer only, rear steer only, crab steer, and 4-wheel steer. So see how that works out. And here's your SVC. Alright, normal or reversing, steering gain 50%, throttle gain 50%, priority 0, off. Alright, let's get this in a truck and see what it's got. Alright, now before I go any further, I need to let you guys know that this particular radio was actually handed to me for this review by a good friend of mine, Sean Larman, Jack's RC Recycle and Repair here in Jacksonville, Florida. So he's the reason why I have this radio to show it to you. So, and with that, I'm going to get into the gyro of this thing. Let's see how this works. Right now, I've got the steering gain set at 0%. Let's see. Absolutely nothing. Now I'm going to turn the steering up by rolling the dial. Let's go to 60% to start with. Let's see. There you go. Now, if you don't know what this does, without being able to tell just by looking at that, go for 100% to show you guys everything it's got. If you're driving and your car does this number, this will pick it up before you see it and actually correct the car. So, here, let me show you. Which is actually pretty neat. I don't know how well it's going to do, but it should hold the car straight. Granted, there's going to be some tuning on this. Going to have to adjust this, you know, somewhere along the lines. I'll put it back to 50%. So let's see. All right, that looks pretty good. And this other feature down here I want to mess with. Let me see here. Priority. I'm at 80% priority right now. We're going to set this down to 0%. Now let's see, I'm going to turn the wheel all the way. I've actually got it reversed right now. I'll fix that. Alright, the gyro is actually straightening the tires out in that turn. Okay, for me, I'd rather have full control over the turn. So, let's turn this thing all the way up. And let's see. Alright, there's full turn. I've got nothing. Neutral. Wow, that's nice right there. So I've got my gyro action while going straight. When I turn, my gyro action goes away. That is really nice. That means that with the gyro active, when you go to make a hard turn, the gyro won't actually try to straighten your vehicle back out, making your turn really wide. With this, you should be able to get a good tight turn, let up on it, and it'll automatically go back into gyro mode, which will straighten you right back out. So let's take this thing out. Let's find us some dirt somewhere. I'm running a 3S on this. This is normally a 2S truck, but 3S should make this thing really spin out quite a bit. So let's go see what this thing has got outside. I've got the steering gain turned down to 0%. You can see right there. Driving one-handed. Driving one-handed a two-wheel drive on road is kind of a pain. That is not working out well for me. I'm going to turn the steering gain back up and see what happens. I've got the steering gain at 50%. Let's see if I can drive any better now. Huge difference. Wow, could not do that without the steering gain. And right now it's at 50%, which seems to be pretty good. Now I've got priority set down at 0. I'm going to turn that up to 100 and see how this thing does. There is steering priority at 0%, which gives all priority to the gyro, which means the gyro can really overtake it, especially on a high traction surface. The gyro, you can see it actually straightening the wheels out right there. So I'm gonna turn priority up to 100%, and what that'll do is that'll give me steering gyro as long as I'm going close to straight, but as soon as I turn, it gives me all the turn I want. So it should tighten up my turns quite a bit. All right, priority is at 100%. I would probably leave it at 100%, maybe somewhere around 75%. Notice the tires are not trying to self-straighten. They're staying turned throughout the whole turn. So, all in all, this is a really good radio. I gotta give it props. This thing is pretty darn nice. I've had gyros before, and they never really worked what I would call right. They were always a hindrance, you know, except for, you know, straight line stuff. But this could actually be used while racing, which is probably illegal. I guess you have to check with your sanctioned body for that. But anyway, real impressed with this radio. Looks good, feels good. You can do the 2S LiPo in there like I showed you earlier. Pretty darn good radio. I'm gonna try a distance test with this. Let's just see here. I've got the antenna up on the radio now. Probably can't see anything, can you? All I see is like a dot. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. A little bit back there. There it is, all the way. Wow. See if I can zoom in here. Let's see. All the way past the shadows. That is a pretty good distance. And I haven't experienced what I could call a glitch yet. Other than me trying to drive at a distance which is not so good. I would have to say distance on this thing is pretty darn good. I put this radio into the Pro line Pro MT truck, and I've got the steering gain at 50 and priority at 80. Absolutely awesome. Could not do that one-handed with the Futaba 4 PLS. I was all over the road. Again, very impressive radio. Well, there you go. Radio is tested. It works flawlessly. The gyro done absolutely fantastic. I was able to one-hand drive both of those at their top speed. So, I mean, I was unable to do that with the Futaba PLS. So the gyro really makes a difference. The receiver itself is kind of small, which is good. I have no complaints at all and would absolutely run this radio in anything fast or anything at all. Now keep in mind, if you run a high voltage servo, that's a high voltage receiver. So no need to bypass or any of that stuff. So yeah, I like the radio.